Let's start, if we could, with your references to Greenland and the Panama Canal, so forth. Can you assure the world that as you try to get control of these areas, you are not going to use military or economic coercion?
No.
Mere days before taking charge of the world's most advanced military, Donald Trump sent shockwaves across the globe. Trump said that taking military action is not off the table when it comes to America taking back control of the Panama Canal.
The Panama Canal was built for our military. I'm not going to commit to that now. It might be that you'll have to do something.
The target is clear: China, at a time when America is already indirectly clashing with its European rival Russia and Middle Eastern foe Iran.
It's being operated by China. China. And we gave the Panama Canal to Panama. We didn't give it to China. And they've abused it.
With his Panama threat, has Trump revealed his defense policy? The president-elect has said that he plans to end ongoing wars, like in Ukraine and Gaza. But has the most important part been left unsaid? That Trump will end American involvement in foreign wars, but won't shy away from military action to safeguard its direct interests? Less than 2 weeks before his inauguration as president, Donald Trump addressed a press conference. One of the first questions he was asked was about his statements on the Panama Canal, Greenland, and Canada. Soon after his election victory, Trump said Panama must either stop charging America high rates for letting ships pass, or give its control back to America, which built the waterway in the early 1900s. Trump revived his idea of buying the giant semi-autonomous island of Greenland from NATO ally Denmark. He was more confrontational with Canada, calling for its annexation by referring to it as the 51st state of the US, and calling its Prime Minister Justin Trudeau the governor of the great state of Canada. At his January 7th press conference, Trump escalated the threats.
Let's start, if we could, with your references to Greenland and the Panama Canal, so forth. Can you assure the world that as you try to get control of these areas, you are not going to use military or economic coercion?
No.
And can you tell us a little bit about what your plan is? Are you going to negotiate a new treaty? Are you going to ask the Canadians to hold a vote? What is the strategy?
I can't assure you. You're talking about Panama and Greenland. No, I can't assure you on either of those two. But I can say this. We need them for economic security. The Panama Canal was built for our military. I'm not going to commit to that now. It might be that you'll have to do something. Look, the Panama Canal is vital to our country. It's being operated by China. China. And we gave the Panama Canal to Panama. We didn't give it to China. And they've abused it. They've abused that gift. It should have never been made, by the way. Giving the Panama Canal is why Jimmy Carter lost the election, in my opinion, more so maybe than the hostages. The hostages were a big deal. But if you remember, and nobody wants to talk about the Panama Canal now because, it's inappropriate, I guess, but because it's a bad part of the Carter legacy. But he was a good man. Look, he was a good man. I knew him a little bit, and he was a very fine person. But that was a big mistake. Giving the Panama Canal to Panama was a very big mistake. We lost 38,000 people. It cost us the equivalent of $1 trillion, maybe more than that. Probably the most expensive. They say it was the most expensive structure, if we call it a structure, which I guess you can, ever built. And giving that away was a horrible thing. And I believe that's why Jimmy Carter lost the election, even more so than the hostages. Those two things.
Trump's statement on Chinese domination of the Panama Canal is believed to be a reference to a company called Hutchison Ports PPC, which controls 2 of the 5 ports adjacent to the canal, 1 on each side. Hutchison Ports is a subsidiary of Hong Kong-based CK Hutchison Holdings. This is not the first time that the potential threat of Chinese control of the Panama Canal has been raised. Just a few months ago, it was an American lawmaker from Trump's rival Democrat Party who raised the issue in the US Congress.
With China. In this article, you write...
In May 2024, Raja Krishnamurthy, a member of the U.S. House of Representatives, highlighted the issue of a Hong Kong company controlling Panama Canal ports, as per South China Morning Post. The point was raised during a U.S. congressional hearing on China's global development strategy.
And you wrote that, quote, the fundamental...
Krishnamurti hadn't named Hutchison, but said that the company's ties to Beijing may cause problems like delays in American civilian and military shipping via the Panama Canal, especially in the case of a war in Taiwan. The American lawmaker also highlighted how China could turn ports into military bases. Hutchison has operated 2 of Panama Canal's ports since 1997. Similar concerns were raised then, and intensified in 2021 when Panama renewed the company's contract, which was expiring in 2022. After Trump's earlier threats, the president of Panama had attempted to dismiss allegations of Chinese influence, while also defying Trump's demand.
El canal no tiene control directo o indirecto ni de China, ni de la Comunidad Europea, ni de Estados Unidos o de cualquier otra potencia. Cada metro cuadrado del canal de Panamá y su zona adyacente es de Panamá y lo seguirá siendo. La soberanía e independencia de nuestro país no son negociables. Desde que está en manos panameñas, el canal creció. Es administrado por profesionales idóneos, quienes con reglas claras se encargan de su funcionamiento, conservación y mantenimiento, asegurando su operación segura, continua, eficiente y rentable. Las tarifas no son un capricho.
Mulino had also countered Trump's allegations of exorbitant rates being charged for passage of ships through the canal. He reportedly said that the tariffs are carefully and transparently evaluated and used for maintenance and expansion. With Panama adopting a confrontational stance, Trump has escalated his threat by hinting at use of military force. The US president-elect has also framed it as not a financial issue, but a national and global security threat. It remains to be seen how far Trump decides to go, to make sure his demands are fulfilled.
What the changes in India's population and the differential growth rates.
This city has emerged.
We have a very special guest on the record.
The interview.
The role that the US side played at that point of time.
पूरी दुनिया की नजर.
Assume my phone is tapped. I can probably say hello to Mr. Modi.
आपके भारत पर है.
Episode of Know Your Candidate.
The rising confidence of India under Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Communist China is the greatest threat.
There will come a day that we will see far more radical extremist.
I'm still a little perplexed by why we...
Your daily dose of news from India and across the world. Cutting-edge views and analysis. Tune into HT videos. Click on the bell icon to subscribe.